Getting into the execution, I want to, of course, start with the standard version, and then I want to show you the most effective way that we are going to get in and out of our trades. So the first is the standard version, right? Tesla, we're looking at the 330 strike price. Now, when you hover over the ask, right, it's going to pop up right underneath the arrow. It's going to say buy. And as you go over to the bid, it's going to say sell. Now, we don't have a contract, of course, to sell. So we're going to go over to buy. When you click this is going to pop up. It's going to show it's a single spread. It's going to show to the buy side. This is going to be the quantity, so you can go ahead and change this. Then it's going to show you the stock that you're trading, the specific expiration date you're trading, the type of strike, what type, is it a call, put, it's a call, right? And this is where you're going to be able to change the price of what you want to pay for that contract. Then once you're done, everything makes sense to you, you're going to go ahead and click confirm and send. Now that is the standard way. So when it comes to the most efficient and effective way to get in and out of our trades, Active Trader is going to allow us to get filled instantly, right? Immediately, compared to the standard way that we just talked about, because typically we're going to get filled between the bid and the ask. And when we're approaching a key area that we're focused on, let's say a key area of resistance, once we break out, the bid and the ask are going to jump. And if you try placing that order as that process is happening, it's going to move beyond where you place that order and you're not going to get filled. So with Active Trader, it allows us to be very, very precise with our entries, which is obviously very, very important for us as traders. Now, it will also allow us to give us a good visual of placing stop losses and take profits, entries and exits, which we'll talk about. Now, it's also going to allow us to see where liquidity and volume is on our specific strike price. And along with that, it's going to show us where people who are bidding, where they're at. And it's also going to show us where people who are trying to sell and where they're setting up. So a lot of important information. So this right here is Active Trader. Now, what I'd like to do is kind of go over and show you what we just explained. Then I'd like to show you how we connect it and then how we use it. So the first thing we want to do is go up to this top left-hand corner where this arrow is. This is going to allow us to control the quantity, right? At times, this is going to show 10. So we want to make sure that before we place a position that you have the correct amount that you want to buy. Next thing is going to be this little auto send checkbox. We want to make sure this is checked off, because if you don't, then there's going to be a pop-up that comes up and it's going to say, hey, are you sure you want to do this? The whole purpose of Active Trader, guys, is to get immediate entry. So just make sure that's checked off. Now let's get into kind of what we already explained. We talked about how Active Trader can show us where the bids are and where the asks are. So the red numbers here that are above where this gray bar is going to be the ask, and the green numbers below this gray box are going to represent the bid. Now, this gray box is going to be the exact value of this specific strike. So if we were to go over here and go ahead and click this right where that gray box is, that is going to get us in at that exact price. So when we're buying, we want to be on the left side of this screen. And when we are selling, we're going to want to be on this side of the screen. Now, you'll notice to the left, we talked about volume, liquidity. These blue bars are going to represent that volume and liquidity. So what I'd like to do, guys, is I'd like to show you my setup and how I like to execute. You guys already know that I like to trade both sides. So I like to have my calls to the left and I like to have my puts to the right. So let me just go ahead and set this up really quick. All right, and then I'm going to click Active Trader. I'm going to click Active Trader, and now I want to show you how we go ahead and connect this. So when we click Active Trader, what this is going to do is it's going to show us the actual stock. What we want to do is connect the specific strike to the Active Trader tool. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the chain, and just like we would place a standard trade, we're going to go to the specific strike price we want. We're going to right click this, go all the way down to the bottom. We're going to slide over and then click the color red. Then we're going to go back to the chart. We're going to go up to the top of the screen. We're going to find this chain-like symbol. We're going to click this and then click that red. That is going to cause the Active Trader tool and that specific strike price to go ahead and connect. So now we have the 330 calls that are to the left. Now let's do the same to the right. So we're going to go to the desired put. We're going to go ahead and right click it. Go over here. Instead of clicking red, we're going to click yellow. Then we're going to go up to that symbol. We're going to click this, click yellow. And now we're going to have our calls to the left and we're going to have our puts to the right.
All right, so the last thing that we have not got into is the active trader and how it gives us an incredible visual of our entries, our exits, our stop losses, and our take profits. So right now, what we're looking for is the break of this area of support and the break of this hourly trend. So we have our puts here to the right. The put that we're looking at is the 335 put, and we have a three contracts locked and loaded. So now we know that the value of these contracts are $410. Let's say we wanted to wait for this hourly trend line to break. So we are willing to go ahead and pay, let's say, $467 for each one of these contracts. So once we click that, we can see that that green line is now entered just below that trend line. So if we break this trend line and get through this green line, then it's going to enter us in on this position. So this is why I say that it's an incredible visual, because typically we can set our entries just outside of breakout areas. So if you are working, guys, this is great, because you can set up your entries, and if it hits it, then it gets you in. If it doesn't, then you don't have to worry about it. So let's say it does get us in this position. And now let's talk about the stop losses and our take profits. So now that we've broken this trend line and we have 3 positions, let's talk about taking profit. So we have 3 contracts. Let's move this back down to 1. So our position and where we got filled at was $472. So let's go ahead and go up here, and let's say that we want to take one position at 600. All right, let's say we want to take another position out at 625. So you can see that red line is where it is going to get us out. So it's a beautiful, visual for what we have to hit to actually get filled. So the same goes for the opposite, right, guys? I'm going to go ahead and exit this out, and let's talk about a stop loss. So let's say this regained strength gets above this hourly trend and, starts to work back towards this area of support that we originally failed at. Let's go ahead and go all the way down, seeing that we got in at 472. Let's say that we were willing to lose $72 on this position. So we're going to set that. We're going to go ahead and go to the sell side. We're going to put this position in. And you can see the visual of where this stock would have to go for us to take a $72 loss. So it's a beautiful, beautiful visual. And I would be lost without this thing. Honestly, guys, once you start getting familiar with this, you're not going to want to use any other way to get in and out of your trades. So not only does it get you filled instantly, not only does it give you a great visual for your entries, exits, but this thing is just incredible. It gives you everything that you need to know.